Wow, I just finished up an amazing call with Dijon Bowden of How to Be a Motherfucking Legend. So if you guys don't know him, I'll put his name in the comments. You can connect with him. He is an amazing soul, and I'm going to be uploading our video tomorrow. And one of the things that came through to share tonight that I just want to go into real quick, I mean, say real quick, but you know how these flow soirees go. Sometimes we just zoop, zoop, zoop all over the place. So I wanted to zoom into an aspect of reality creation, and there we go. And what is actually happening when we send out a call to the universe from our heart, or when we do an invocation, or when we do an activation or prayer to receive something in our reality. And so I just wanted to give a little demonstration of how that actually works, and I'm going to give my best attempt at drawing infinity on a flat piece of paper. So it's not going to be as exquisite as an Alex Gray drawing would be, but it'll convey the message. So that's what I'm going for here. So imagine that at the beginning of time, the beginning of creation, there was the void. The void. It was complete stillness, complete silence, creation existing in a space of utter beingness before any light, sound, frequency, or vibration was birthed into actual physical matter or form. And in that space, creation became aware of itself, and it felt the vastness of itself, but it couldn't see itself. And so the first question that arose in that space was, what am I? And from that questioning, that request, that desire to know, light, sound, frequency, and vibration started to be birthed into form. And then it was, oh, I'm a creator. I can create whatever I desire. And that was exhilarating, exciting, particularly because the creation was coming from the space of consciousness. And so then that larger field, that larger quantum field began to fractalize and individuate itself so that it could look at itself and experience itself from an infinite amount of perspectives and viewpoints, which is, what we all are. And even the physical, tangible objects inside of our reality are all aspects of divine energy and consciousness that are alive and vital, creative energy. And so imagine us being a unified field. So yeah, that's us. So imagine us being this one being, this one unified field. Okay, so it's a circle, you see that. And then it starts to individuate itself and fractalize into individuated expressions, the mountains, the oceans, the stars, the galaxies, the planets, human beings, all the beautiful, sacred, divine animals and beings on our planet. And so it became these individuated expressions of self. One of these representing each of us in different aspects of energy, nature, consciousness, and all of this. So when we, as an individuated fractal or point of the whole, sends out a request, what we're doing is we're sending a powerful reverberation throughout the whole of all energy and all consciousnesses, which is why power, certainty, conviction, purity of desire coming from our soul, coming from our heart, and putting some oomph and some power behind our request is so important, because the more power we put behind it, and I've spoke to this before, the broader our impact and our ripple effect will be throughout energy and consciousness. And this works the same when we're doing planetary activations too. When we come from that space of pure soul and heart for unification and love and self-actualized ecstatic union on the planet, that reverberation is felt throughout all energy and consciousness. And it's the same when we're not sending out that frequency too, which is why it's really valuable for us to, be attuned to ourselves and the energy that we are embodying and emanating from moment to moment, hyper-conscious awareness and intelligence, what we are sending out and creating. And so when we send out that wave, that ripple effect throughout all creation, all of these other individuated points, our friends, our lovers, our family, nature herself, hear that call, feel that reverberation, and this whole entire field starts to instantaneously, so this is the point of inception, it starts to instantaneously reorchestrate and rearrange itself to bring us our desire. So bringing us the elements that are in synchrony, that are in alignment, in harmony with our frequency and with our desire. So and this is where you can relax in the space in between when, you know, especially if you got a big, juicy, bold, grand desire that you're asking for, and you asked, you know, and you're like, why isn't it here yet? Why isn't it here yet? The only reason why our desires don't come is because we don't let go and live in the frequency of havingness. And so that's ultimate trust. So it's trusting that when you send out a call, a frequential call, a command, you know, an honorable request to the field of all that is, all of that energy is starting to rearrange and reorchestrate itself to bring you your desire. And the space in between is just where that orchestration is happening. And sometimes it happens quicker, and sometimes it happens slower. And so the speed of that has everything to do with non-resistance, which is the space of feeling free, the space of trusting, the space of knowing that that's happening, that all of that is happening, and that creation is immediately starting to move towards us. And then what our mission, our goal of embodiment is, in the space in between that coming, is to live in radical appreciation, absolute celebration of life, and to keep our frequency open and expanded, to feel free and to live in the havingness. And so what you want to tune into is, when you sent that request out, why did you send it out? And I want to bring clarity to that the why is always a feeling. So even if, and you know, and this is something that an aspect of what I share in my wealth course, how creation actually works and responds to us, is that even when you're asking for something like money, what you're asking for truly is a feeling of freedom, of liberation, of mobility, of choice, of time, energy, and spatial freedom, of joy, of you know, luxury and opulence, or being able to experience everything that you want to experience in your life on all the different levels and all the different dimensions of your life experience, and the feeling that that is going to bring to you. So what is it going to feel like to be free? What is it going to feel like to have all the money that you want and so much more filling up your bank account? How would you feel? So what you want to start cultivating in the in-between spaces is that feeling of letting go and trusting that all of this is taking place on your behalf, and then cultivating the frequency of havingness. And from the point of havingness, you will start to magnetize ideas, creative inspiration, all the things that you need to enact to move towards that desire. So you're moving towards it as it is moving towards you. But a main thing here is so that you can truly create from the most pure, authentic alignment of your being, of your soul, is the frequency of having. So one question you can ask yourself now is, if I had $1 million in my bank account, how would I feel? How would I feel? How much freedom would I be experiencing? What would I actually be doing in my life? What would I want to create? What would I want to explore? Where would I travel? Where would I go? What beautiful things would I buy? How would I support my family and my community? What charities would I invest in? You know, and start asking yourself all of these questions and getting clarity around what you will do with all of that beautiful money when it flows into you and when it arrives. Or even, you know, if you're asking for a life partner, whatever the case may be, what will it be like to be living inside of that reality? So you cultivate the frequency of having that, and then naturally all of your actions and all of your behaviors start to align to that. So you're believing and behaving like it's already yours, because it is. And so the key to real true certainty is just your knowingness that all of this is occurring, you know, behind the scenes, as you are cultivating the frequency of havingness and celebration of the havingness of it, and taking, you know, bold, juicy, creative action towards it as those creative inspirations arise, and then you line up, you synchronize. And, you know, it was a quote by Albert Einstein: everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality that you desire, and you will line up with that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. And so the most important element of manifesting anything that we want in our life is in the frequency. And, you know, I'll just continue to, to amplify this, but it's a frequency of super abundance. So what this really means is coding ourselves for opulence, for wealth, for riches, for success, for love, for unity, and all of the energy and frequency bands that are in alignment with our true self, with our divine self, with our source self. And that is, on a scientific level, that is pure photonic positive energy. So it's just pure positive frequency. It's everything is, it's learning how to filter nirvana truly, and really filter the voice and the wisdom and the music and the sound of pure source. So you're only hearing absolute celebration. You're always held in a space of value, and your value, this is important for manifesting wealth too. And I just talked about this on my call with Dijon, and so you'll see it on there too if you watch it. But I was in a store called Gypsy Soul a few days ago, and I'll share some photos with you guys soon. But this stone, she spoke to me, and she's just exquisite. It's just this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous work of art from Mother Nature that actually washes up on shore from the deep, deep, deep depths of the ocean floor. And so she just so much power, and reminded me of my connection to the infinite web, the infinite holographic quantum field that we are all a part of, and my connection to all that is as source, as the full embodiment of source, and the power that is accessible to us through that embodiment of the infinite self. And so I asked her, I said, "What is your name?" And she said, "My name is Value." And I thought, how exquisite, because that is the foundation of everything that we want to manifest and co-create in our lives, is value, and understanding, truly deeply understanding that our value is inherent because we are source, because we exist, because we are starlight radiating and emerging through our luminous, gorgeous, beautiful, multidimensional human form, and we are that. We are the source. And so to start filtering the voice of source, and to start really owning and claiming and embodying our power as that energy, which is extremely powerful. It's this luscious vortex of creative cosmic energy and life force and fuel that we have access to from the most pure space, pure positive energy flow. And so our value is unquestionable. It is not even something it's not something to contemplate whether it's inherent. It's something to cultivate. It's something to remember. It's something to build and to resonate and to receive deeply in our cells and our molecules and our bones, until we know for certain that is who we are, and that is what everything is. And that's really where the unification happens, and that's where all true magic happens too, because magic is at the most expanded levels. It is love, it is appreciation, it's pure positive energy. So and to span this into the more scientific community, this would be generative power. This is the essence of genius itself. It's pure spirit, quintessence, pure radiant generative power. It's productivity, it is fertility, it is being the embodiment of superabundance, and superabundance is really all that is, because everything is a manifestation of light, sound, frequency, and vibration. And so any ideas or notions of something not being of value, or someone not being of value, or some aspect of energy and consciousness not being that, or there even being lack, is a complete fallacy of the mind. It is something that we have engineered, and is it's not real unless we make the perception of it real inside of our reality. And so one of the main spaces of cultivating wealth and abundance is to cultivate that knowing and that remembrance and that frequency, that powerful frequency of sovereign individual as well as collective unified value, and understanding that your value is inherent, and that you can begin attracting money and wealth and love and whatever it is that your heart desires, your soul desires, from right where you are, because you exist, because of who you are. So really grounding into that. And there's a lot of rituals that I offer to my clients in these courses to really ground this in, and to make it tangible and practical for them. But the next space would be visioning and cultivating and embodying those frequencies, and really it's the embodiment of the vision, to power yourself and to fuel and fertilize yourself, and to create life-enhancing energy in your mind, So the first phase is to, neurological reprogramming that can happen instantaneously, and that's one of the methods that I teach in my course. And then doing your prayers and your activations and your invocations and making sure that you ask grand. And something I love to do is say, I am open to receiving this or greater. And then what I do is I close off all other options that are not up to that alignment or that standard that I have set in my life. And then I also open it up to or greater. So this or greater. If there's something that, my mind and it's limited capacity in comparison to, what the expanded me can see, I'm open to that as well. And so keeping it open and trusting that it's coming in the best, most resonant, aligned, and harmonious way for me. So those are just a few things that you can do to start supercharging the manifestation space, is to really ground into your value as the infinite creator, as source, and to start cultivating the frequency of having this. So this is you're not separate from your desire. You're not separate from that which you are calling forth. It is not on an alternate timeline that is separate from you in any way. It is with you now. You have it. You're unified with it. So a difference between separation and unification. And then cultivating the frequencies of appreciation. And I love the energy of celebration, because to me it's just more alive and filled with light. Yeah, and because what we appreciate appreciates, and that's ultimately what we want to feel, is the love that we are, and to share that experience and that resonance with everyone and everything that we are having a relationship with in our lives. So magic is intimacy with reality, having a relationship with life, having an abundant, life-giving, soul-fueled, heart-powered, exciting, ecstatic, celebratory relationship with life. And then from that point, you will start attracting all forms of abundance into your life, because you are living abundance, you're being abundance, you're breathing abundance. So let's see. Yeah. Ground into your power, pure source, pure positive source energy. Elevate your mind, code your mind with a voice in the wisdom of source. Do things that enhance your soul and help you feel free and alive and beautiful, and celebrate yourself. Give yourself what you need on a deep soul level. Your body, your physical body, and your health, putting your health top priority above really truly anything else is really nourishing and honoring your sacred vessel and giving it what it needs to thrive and to flourish. Body, mind, soul, and creating a balance between all of these different areas of life through our rituals and our practices. These are just a few ways that you can cultivate super abundance in your life. And I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. I'm excited to share some of the videos and the interviews that I have coming up with Dijon Bowden of How to Be a Motherfucking Legend, with Satyan Raha of Warrior Sage. So excited to be going and spending just deeply connected time and space with him in Canada. And Daniel Sun, one of my most favorite epic photographers and artists on the face of this planet. If you ever host a retreat, he is the man to contact for videography, photography, just exquisite, mystical being that I'm so thankful to have in my life, and many, many more. So I'm going to hop off. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope this was helpful and useful for you. And if you have any questions, of course, always feel free to pop them in the comments. Holding you all in the deepest warmth and gratitude and love. Connect with you soon. Bye.